We're live, and it's great to be here as always. I think we're live now, right? I always get a little confused there, making sure all the lights work, right? Hey, it's great to be here today, and we are here with another hangout to help you to take your business to the next level. We're excited because we are less than 3 weeks away from our big live event down here at Rowan University in just outside of Philadelphia. So we're excited to have you here today as we're going to talk today about these three things. And time, priority, and profit. And how time, priority, and profit all hang together to help you to make your business a tremendous success. We're going to do some more with this at the boot camp, so we're just going to give you some flavor here today. And let me also tell you, I'm excited because next week we've got some guests coming on. Next week we got one of our presenters, Brad Thornburg from the boot camp, is going to be here, and we're going to talk about CRM. So I know you're excited about that one, and if you get some questions in for Brad, that would be great. We're going to kind of do a little interview and education. And the following week, we got our LinkedIn, Facebook expert, Howard Yermish. So the next 2 weeks are exciting, and you're going to be the first to hear this one. Over the next 2 weeks, we have just added 2 more pre-boot camp hangouts where we're going to do an education thing and just show you some of the stuff that we're going to do at the boot camp. So I'm excited, but let's go on to today's subject: time, priority, and profit. And we start, what I call these are 3 keys to success. What we've learned is there's a lot of keys, and you got to turn them all right to be successful. But you got to know which ones to turn and how to turn them. And that's what we try to do with you today. And every day we do these. So let's talk about time. Maybe that works better. Nah, it works better over here. Time. Let's talk about time. This is that little thing that eludes us all, isn't it? What are we talking about when we talk about time? Well, there's 3 rules that you need to understand. And if you understand these rules, you will so much better manage your time, effort, and energy and everything you need to move forward. Number 1 is this one. You can't, you got that word right there? Can't manage time. Now, I know that sounds strange. I'm sitting here talking about time management, and I start out with the first thing telling you, you can't manage time, because guess what? You can't manage time. Time is uncontrollable. Time is the great equalizer. That I was at one of my own masterminds groups this morning with my fellow members, a great group. And if you're not in a mastermind, you need to get in one. And if you need some help, we do them all the time. But we were talking about time, and time is the great equalizer. It's 24/7. That's it. Nobody gets more. Nobody gets less. That is all we get. And what I want to do with you, and we're going to try the screen sharing today. All right, there we go. I want to show you a little bit about your time. How much time do you have? Actually, I can do it. Yeah, let's try to do it on the cards, because I haven't done that before, and I wanted to really do that. So we're going to share. Not yet. Let's go over here. And remember, some of this I'm still relatively new at. All right, there we go. Let's go back to where we were. Let's see if we can share. And I think this is the right screen we want to share. Okay. Um, maybe it's this one. Share. Yep, there we go. Okay, great. I hope you can see this. We'll take the font up. We're still trying stuff here to make sure it works right. Let's take it up here. And we don't want to share that. We want to go here. Okay, I want to go at the bottom of this page because I want to share a couple things with you. In fact, let's just insert a break here. Okay, so there we are. Now, I want to tell you when it comes to time, here's a couple things you need to understand. And I do have to raise that up. Let's go here. Number one is you need to sleep, right? So how much time do you need to sleep? Well, you know, this is a variable, but I would say most people need about 50 hours to sleep. All right. Are you with me? Yep. Okay. Let me just stop sharing that a minute. There we go. Okay. I hope you got to see that. We're going to go back there in a minute. I just want to make sure everything's working. Let's go here. Whoop. All right. I think we can bring that back up from here and share. Yep. So, you know, that's 7 hours a day with 1 hour more, sometimes more or less. If you're sleeping more than that, you're wasting your life. Come on. We don't need to sleep more than that. The next thing, you need to work. And at work, again, I'm going to use 50 hours. 50 hours to work. You don't need to work more than that. If you're working more than that, you're not working right. And remember, we've talked about that before, right? So if I go up here and I say, how many hours do I have in a week? So we're going to start here. Yeah, there we go. We have 168, right? So we sleep 50, and then we work 50, so we're now at 100. And, you know, what else do we have to do in life? Well, we have a lot of other things. We have to eat, right? And even if I allocate 10 hours, we have some personal time. I like to spend this in church, studying, those kind of things, 15 hours a week. So let's take that to 125. We got to do SSS, shower, shave, and you know the other one. So let's give ourselves, what, 10 hours a week for that? So that's 135. Now, what else? I don't know if we need anything else. So what we have now, if we manage it correctly, just think about this for a minute. If we manage it correctly, 168 minus 135 says that we still have 33 hours left. That's over a day. What can you do with 33 hours? I want you really to think about that. Just look at this. And you may have a few other categories, but I've just, you know, between sleeping, working, eating, personal time, and the 3 S's, I have 135. I think I got plenty of time, but I got to cut out some of those wasters. You know, some of you may be watching TV 33 hours a week. I hope not. But you have to do family things. That's true. Even if you have half of that, that still leaves you another 16 hours, 2 work days when you think about it. Wow. So time isn't quite as tight as we sometimes think. So let's go back here. We're live again. All right. So let's go to the second rule there, which is you can't have more. Take that into consideration. You can't have more time. This is all you get. 168 hours is it. I don't care if you're rich, poor, good looking, ugly. I don't care. This is it. You can't have any more. So you have to understand that principle that you can't have more than that. That's it. And the third principle you got to understand is that time never waits. So when you have that great idea, or you're thinking about building something, or you're thinking you're going to put something together, When you hesitate, you have to remember time never waits. If I go back to my mastermind group this morning, we had discussion. One member talked about what he was going to do and hesitated. And 2 years later, he still hadn't done it, but somebody else had. How many of you have been there? Time waits for no one. So the first principle today was time. And remember, you can't manage it. You can't have more. And time never waits. So you got to use it effectively. And we're going to show you how to do some of that in a minute, but not through time management. We're going to show you through number 2, which is priority. Now, what is priority? Priority, some people try to match and mix priority and time. And what I'm going to tell you is they're different. Priority is a key element you need to look at. What is most important in what you're doing? Most people don't know. It's so amazing when I ask people, what do you got on your agenda over the next whatever? Well, I got a to-do list here, and they have a long list of all these things with no priorities on them, no way to know what's most important, and further, no way to know what is the best and the biggest payback items. And that's where people get in trouble. Because you see, this is what you've got to manage. Not time, but priority. If you're working the right things. We used to say you got to stop working so hard. That's why I said no more than 50 hours, right? And then people said, stop working so hard and start working smart. I said, okay. But then people finally got it. And what they got was you need to work the right things. So we do that through number 1, becoming proactive. How many times do people become reactive? And I always like to tell the story. And if you've been to some of my time management seminars in the past, you've seen me talk about the pinball machine and that little ball in the pinball machine and how it goes up, down, around, bounces all over the place. And that's how we feel sometimes, isn't it? And that's how so many people run their lives. They're like a ball in a pinball machine, getting knocked this way, that way, around the corner, over, through the flipper, bam. That's not what you need to do. You need to control your schedule. You need to control your life. And the way to do that is by becoming proactive and doing what you know needs to be done. And, I got to tell you, this is my schedule. I feel for you, but we're not changing it unless the priority of what you have and the cost payback is above what I'm already doing. I'm a pretty much of a stickler that this is my schedule for today. Don't call me and interrupt me. Now, some things are emergencies. We all know that. The next thing in priority is, this is what you got to do. Know what's most important. And you do that by having a list of everything that you have to do, both regular, if you've been to some of my seminars in the past, we always have to have a list. These are the things that we always got to do weekly, monthly, daily. And these are the things that got to be done, or I usually call them projects. That list that you have, you need to control by priority. So you can look at that list on a regular basis and say, okay, this is the next thing I need to do. Instead of going through the list, let me think, what do I need to do next? I don't know. Let me do this. You think it's funny, but I hate to tell you, it is funny. People actually live that way. And they wonder, why is it I'm not moving as fast as some other people who know what's most important? Because remember, you need to work that item first. Third thing is you got to have a schedule, and you got to stick to it, and you got to do it. And a schedule is nothing more than, okay, it's the end of today. I'm going to quit working now. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my little notebook. And for those of you who think I don't do it, let me share this with you. There's my little notebook. That's what I do every day. It's not very high tech, is it? But you'll see over here, there's a simple calendar. And over here, there's the things we got to do. And I plug them in. But what it is I do this the night before. So there's no question. First of all, I go to bed, and some of the top people will tell you that whatever was in your mind, you sleep on it and you become so much more effective the next day. So when I get up tomorrow, I already know what I'm doing, when I'm doing, and what's most important. Could it change? Sometimes. But as a general rule, no. I don't get up and attack tomorrow and not have any idea in the world what I'm doing or let the day drive me. In other words, and please keep this in mind, don't be a pinball. God, I should get a shirt that says that. Don't be a pinball. Be proactive. The other thing that's very important is this. And even if you forget everything else that I taught you today and you don't really want to pay any attention to it, remember this one. The 3 most important things that you need to do. And again, I can show you in my book what I do every day is what are the 3, even this list right here has it on there. What are the 3 most important things that I need to do? They could be little. Maybe I need to sharpen a pencil. I don't care how little they are, how big they are. These are the 3 things that I'm going to get done today. No matter what, I'm going to work. These are 3 things that are the highest importance. These are the 3 things that must get done. 3 things. I don't want 4. I don't want 5. I don't want 10. I don't want all. I want 3 things. You can do a lot more, but the day doesn't go anywhere until these 3 are done. And there are 3 things in the morning. People say, well, in the morning I do this. Look, in the morning, you do the most important things first. Then the rest of the day flows from there. 3 most important things. So, and you know, I like to recap all the time. It's just what I like to do. Priority. When it comes to priority, get out of the pinball machine. Know what's most important and do it. Schedule it. And this, above all, the 3 most important things that you need to do today. All right, so we have so far talked about time and we've talked about priorities. So there's only one more in the scenario, right? And okay, we still have plenty of time. And that's profit. And isn't this why you're in business? Isn't this why you're running a company? Now, some people say, yeah, but I'm really in business for flexibility. Good. If you don't have this, you're not going to be in business long and your flexibility is gone. Well, I'm not really in business. Everybody's in business for money. Come on. Profit is what we're after so we can do all those things. If your business doesn't generate money, soon you're going to be out of business. And that's what happens to people. They have great intentions, great and very honorable processes, but they forget they got to be in business to make profit. So the first thing we're going to talk about is you need a goal as to what's left. And this isn't just for people in business. If you work in a job, it's still the same thing. What's profit is what's left afterwards. And if you'll see, one of the upcoming classes we're going to do for everybody is something called How to Live on 50% and Live a Dream Life, or Live the Dream, I think we called it. How to live on 50% of your income and live the dream, because that's what you can do. The goal of the dollars left. How much is in your pocket? And I don't mean your tax returns, because tax returns are different. I mean, when you look at your business, what's the goal for how much profit you're going to make? You need this number. If you have a job, what's the goal at the end of the year? How much money you're going to have that you can do with what you want? Now, again, what I'm teaching you here in profit has nothing to do with working for yourself, because you still need a budget, whether you're working for yourself or in a business. And if you're in a business, you need one of these for both sides, your business and personal. But why do and those who've been through some of my budgeting stuff in the past, you know why this is so important. It is so important because how do you know when I come in there and say, I think you should work with me. This is the right thing. You say, I think I should too. And you ask me how much, and I say this much, and you say, okay, let's do it. How do you know? How do you know you can spend that money? Well, it's my business. I can spend whatever you want. But if you have a budget, you know, I have so much for personal development, so much for sales development. I have places to get the money. I know what I can spend and what I can spend it on. It's a roadmap for finance. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other night at an event, and this is the number one. He's a financial guy that works with companies as kind of their CFO. And he says, this is the thing people don't have. And even people who have it don't listen to it. This is how you run your business. This is how, if you spend and earn according to the budget, you make the profit you want. You want to live the dream. We all want to live the dream, but we've failed to do the work. And finally, in profit, know the numbers. Now, I know some of you out there are going to say, well, I'm not a finance guy, Manny. I'm a salesperson, or I'm not a finance guy. I'm an engineer, or I'm a whatever. I don't care what you are. I don't care if you got the best CFO in the world, which is wonderful. I highly recommend a top-notch CFO. You still have to know the numbers, not to the detail your CFO knows them, but you need to know how much cash do we have all the time. Did we make money on this deal? Did we make money on that deal? Did we, when we bought that, did we get our ROI back? You got to know the numbers. Spend some time. Take a finance course. Work with me on a couple of things. I'll show you the numbers that are important. All numbers are important, and you need to know the numbers. So if you want to hit your profit, you got to have a goal as to what that profit's going to be. You can't get somewhere that doesn't exist. You got to have a budget, because to get here, this is your roadmap. Just like I teach you guys in sales. In order to hit your sales goal, you need a roadmap, a sales and marketing plan, right? In order to hit your profit, you need a financial profit plan. They're not that hard. And you know me, I don't really want to deal with anything that's not a one-pager. So you can, this is a one-pager, right? I don't like anything complex, and you got to know the numbers. And if you're not that strong on the numbers, take a course, learn a little bit, and get stronger. So let me just recap that for a minute, because I want you to understand that today's session was about time. It was about priority, and it was about profit. Now, I'll shuffle these around a little bit and tell you, if you want more of this and you want more of this, in other words, these are the two things you want, aren't they? Profit and time. They are the two things that will drive you to success. Then you got to get this baby under control. You've got to start working the right things. You've got to start working the things that bring the best payback. And there are no excuses. And I don't want to hear any stories about, well, it's not quite exactly how I operate, Manny. I do it this way. There is no this way. If you are truly interested in raising your profit and raising the time you have, then look at what you're doing and determine, this is the biggest payback. This is what I need to be doing. This is what I need to spend my time on. Now, we just gave you an overview. We gave you about 25 minutes. This is the link, CoachMannyTip.com. It'll take you to our boot camp, CoachMannyTip.com. Coach Manny Tip if you plug that in, or you can plug in Marketing Automation Bootcamp, or you can plug in MannyNowak.com. Get to the site, get registered. People are coming in. We have a number we're trying to hit. Once we hit the number, there's really not going to be a whole lot of warning. We're just going to close out. So we really want you there. The best $97 you ever spent. What a great opportunity. Just think about what we're going to do with this at the boot camp. We're going to give you much more detail, because it's all about how do I take my business and make it a huge success so I can live the dream. And I want to tell you, what do most of us want? We want to live the dream. That's why we're out here building our business. That's why we're doing what we do, because we want to live the dream. You see the picture behind me? You see the chair? It's empty. Why is this chair empty? Because I'm not sitting in it yet. But I will be sitting in it, because we're living the dream. So, time, profit, priority, work them. Get to our boot camp. There's the link again. I hope you enjoyed this hangout today. We're here every Friday. And don't forget, next Friday, Brad Thornburg will be our guest. The following week, Howard Yermish. The following week, we're going to be broadcasting live during our lunch break from the boot camp. And we hope you're going to be there so I can put you on the air here with me. Isn't that going to be great? So I think I had that sign. Yes. Time, priority, and profit. This is Coach Manny saying, go out there, make this a better world, make this the place you want to be, get motivated, work the right things, and live the dream. Thank you.